This is my layout that I intend to do on the wall, with that corner there being the top corner up there. Today I am sorting out my frames. My frames have all been packed away since I've moved into this studio from my old Lego room, and it is about time they made their appearance and made their way onto the walls. But there's quite a bit of sorting to do because I need to list all the figures I have on Bricklink and Brickset. I like to keep them catalogued so I know exactly what figures I have, because they do move around quite a bit. I use them in mocks, and some I have in frames and some I have loose, so I like to know where they are. I didn't do this in the past. I will now go through them and make sure everything that's in a frame is catalogued in those two apps, so that I can see exactly what I have and keep an eye on them, the values, and just whether I need more. I do want to get them all, the whole collection, over time. I think it's one of those things that needs to be done. It is a pain in the backside, it really is, but it's worth it in the long run. I've got these size frames. I call these the medium size Santa head frames, although I have got a couple of older ones before Santa heads were available from IKEA. I've got the three different colours. I've got the black, the white and the grey, and I have various different backgrounds, as you can see. So my collection of these frames are all in here. These two were out for a little while just because I needed a couple of different figures from them, so I removed them. The others I haven't even looked at for some time, but they are all in these boxes right here. I have two boxes, although this box here is probably about half full with framed figures. The other ones are loose frames. I bought a whole lot of them. So I know I said earlier on in this video that these frames were Santa heads. Well, I was actually wrong. These are rib arts. That is why I bought a whole box of the whites, because I was doing this Clone Wars series, so it made sense to buy a whole box before they completely sold out. I've got those. The only problem is now the Santa heads are 5mm or something different. If I want to add more, it's going to be a little bit of a tricky one, or they have to go on a different wall. I'll work that out when I get to it. At the moment, I'm probably close to what I want to put in these frames now. I mean, there might be a few more along the way. Maybe I can find a few more of these frames in black and grey if I need them. I think Craig already had some saved for me. I hope that's the case. That's a mistake correction there. These are not Santa heads, these are rib arts. I think it might have been worked out cheaper to buy a whole box of them as well. These ones here are loose, so maybe I didn't have a bigger outer box for them, but they've been kept in them. I do keep all the boxes, as I am known to move around a bit, so it has been worthwhile keeping the boxes to keep them nice and safe as I move. I also have these frames here, which are the larger ones. They're not the largest IKEA frames they do. There is one larger, but these are the largest I have. I only have 3 with figures in and 1 loose one at the moment. I'm not sure how many more of these I'm going to make. The problem is with these, you take them out of the packaging and they do very slightly bow around the sides. So I have tried to get an answer out of IKEA, but it's not easy. It's almost like they don't believe me. But I went into IKEA the other day and looked at their frames, and there's a few of them out of the cellophane and they're already bowing. So it's not to do with the weight. It's something to do with how they're made, and as soon as that cellophane's off, they seem to bow somewhat. Now, I don't think they get too bad so that you can't use them, but it's not ideal. So I'm not sure whether I will use any more of these. This also needs to have the film peeled off of the cover there, as you can see, so I will do that as well. Let me show you also what else happened with these frames while I was moving. So we have this one here, which I made on the first Death Star. And I like to army build a little bit, just to add to the look of it, that there are armies involved in these. I don't know whether you can call them armies, but troops. That's probably a better word. And this was the Clone Wars Season 7. Again, that needs to have that peeled off. I haven't completed this one yet. I'm still working out the full lineup, and I might not work that out for some time, actually. It might have to go on the wall without being complete. And this is what happened to my Imperial Hoth frame. I think that needs sorting out ASAP, and then I can mount that on the wall. Probably get some of the medium ones out, start looking through them, i.e. the figures on those two websites, Bricklink and Brickset. Make sure that the figures are listed on there, and then get them up on this wall. And this is the plan. They will go on this wall across this way. I hope to keep them in prequels, original trilogy. Don't even have any sequel trilogy ones, but that would be the idea. Clone Wars. I guess that's how I'd do it. Depends how many frames I actually have, because I can't actually remember at the moment. So. I am using these command strips. I've had some of these left for quite some time. It took me quite a while to find them because I have moved. So I'm not sure how well they're going to work with the bigger frames. If I put plenty on there, I think they'll work fine. Maybe I will later on take the command strips off and drill them on. For the moment, I'm just going to use the command strips because that's what I have to hand. I'm going to crack on with this. I will do some of this in time lapse. As you can see from that time lapse, probably that most of them have survived pretty well. They're a little bit dusty in places, so I'll give them a little clean here and there as I go. But yeah, a couple have come loose. Queen Amidala there, and Luke from the 20th anniversary, and Ahsoka down there. But other than that, they've survived pretty well, been very well protected in their original packing. Like I say, the bigger ones do have that slight bowing. You'll see it on the wall, but you can see it actually, all different ways you look at it. Hopefully it won't annoy me too much. I just love mixing the poster art or some good art from the shows in with the actual figures. I just think it makes the figures mean so much more. I don't know whether that kind of works for people. For my favourite film, this is the worst actual picture there is. I don't know, it just doesn't come off quite as well as, for example, that one or that one. They're all better than Return of the Jedi, and Return of the Jedi is my favourite film, so that's a little bit annoying, but there we go. I'm just going to show you how I actually get these apart when I need to get inside them. As you can see, they have these little black metal clips. I use an old kitchen knife. I've used a screwdriver as well, but I find a knife's an easier. It's got the right blunt on the back side of it, in between the frame side and the perspex, and get in there nicely without doing any damage to the perspex or the actual picture itself. And you can lift it quite easily. So then you just grab it. So you just literally prise it up slowly. And there we have it. So then for putting it back in, then what I do is just put the whole lot in there, making sure these black bits are out the way, because sometimes they don't go in and you have to use the knife again just to give it a little clearance. It also makes it a bit more difficult when the command strips are on it. There we go. But they do go in quite nicely. And then I just bend them over. Now is the time to work out how I want them exactly and how many there are for each, and start using those command strips to get them up on the wall. This is my layout that I intend to do on the wall, with that corner there being the top corner up there. I think it should work. I've tried to lay them out in timeline order as best I can, and I don't want them coming down too far down here, because that will interfere with my filming in this area here that I do. So if there's a bit of a gap, sort of like around 2 concrete blocks high, that should at least give me that little corner for filming when I do stuff there. I do have more frames somewhere, and I do not know where they are, so that's a surprise. So we've got up to Clone Wars 4 here. I've got 5 and 6 somewhere, I believe. I've also got a Mando frame, or maybe I've got 2 Mando frames, I can't remember. But this is a good start. So that will get most of them on the wall, which will make it a lot better. It also clears out some of my boxes and makes that pile a little bit smaller, making everything a little bit more condensed in this room, giving me more room. I'll start to get these on the wall. I will do that as a time lapse. The first line is in. Now I have got 5 and 6. I do hope they fit in there. They're not looking like they will now. But I also could put 7 and then 5 and 6 there. Right, a little bit of thinking about this. It took a bit of playing around with because the walls are not completely flat. And I'm pretty sure the ceiling isn't on exactly level, so there's going to be a few different gaps. So it is just making it the best it can look, leveling it up somewhat. I think it's going to look really great when they start to come down the wall. But like I say, I'm not going higher than about 2 blocks off the desk anyway. And this also gives me the chance to put some more Trofast units here if I want to, and then put stuff on top of them. Can be in front of the frames there, but I'm more concerned about this filming space here that I need, as I've got no other blank space for filming. And I do want to put my telly on there at some point, so I can't, you know, if the telly comes out to here, maybe, I don't know, hopefully I can still see in there, or I'd have to shift everything over this way a bit. Stopped here because I have run out of command strips. I have a big pile of the empty backers and I've been cutting them down because when I've used them like this, which I have done in the past, they just eat them up and they're not cheap. And these frames are way too small for the large ones. I mean, even the medium ones, if you use one on each corner, there's no real need for it. They haven't got that sort of weight, so they don't need that kind of sticking power. So I cut down the large ones into 4, and that seems to do for a frame of this size. I also wanted to tell you that some of these frames, there's 3 up here that have no figures in. That's because I haven't got round to putting them in. In my old place, they never were on the wall. Now they are. I'm putting them in place as I see in a timeline situation. They go and they work for this layout. There wasn't any particular reason, well, there is a particular reason why I put them there. That is basically because of the timeline. It's a little bit open to debate, but I think they work there how they are, and they look really good once I get the figures in there. All being well, the next pack of 24 large command strips will come tomorrow, and I should be able to get this done tomorrow evening, put on. I think in the meantime I'll get these figures put in and on there, because I have all these figures all ready to go. I'm really pleased with how this is going. I think there's only one more. Yeah, there's only one more that I'm putting lower, 2 concrete block height between the desk and the first frame, so that works well for me. You saw me moving them all around. Not quite happy sometimes when they go on. Another great thing about these command strips, on this type of wall, I can move them around so many times, lift them off with the knife quite easily. It doesn't peel off the command strip that's sitting on the wall. Sorry about the light reflection, that is just part of it, being the light so close there. It's not easy, that does bounce off the perspex, but I think when I get it in different angles you can see, well, it's right in there, so maybe I have to go, nope, it's still there. Yeah, not much I can do about that. It's the next day and I've been working out some bits to put into frames and finding my missing frames. So first of all, for the Solo and Rogue One frame here, which I did have the figures, but they were packed away. I found them, and this is my plan to go into them. I'm not exactly sure if it's the best layout, but it's what I've got and what I'm going to work with for now. They fill up every space, so hopefully that will look good. I've also got one of these hounds. I can't remember the name. Corellian hound, I think, or something like that. Anyway, I will put him probably just down in the corner here, a bit like I've got Rotter down there. I never made the frame with those in mind, but these little bits or little creatures or whatever, they can sit down the bottom there. I've also removed the Bad Batch frame because I'm pretty sure I'm going to put the Bad Batch in here, because we have the Bad Batch there. I know that's not the Bad Batch we get in the Bad Batch shuttle, because obviously you get Crosshair in his Empire outfit and you also get Echo, and I'll probably put them all in here just to keep them together. I've got to reshuffle this a little bit and put what I can where I want. I want another 3 of those over here. I think I'll move him up to there, Addy and probably I'll need to find a good Anakin Skywalker, maybe the one from the Palpatine's arrest. No, I'll move Anakin somewhere else. I want to move the Bad Batch up. Probably put 2 Bad Batch and 2 Bad Batch. I don't know, 3 Bad Batch and 2 Bad Batch. So that's that frame, and I know where I'm going to put that, so I'll leave that as a little bit of a surprise and show you in a bit. So here's my other frames I found. Unfortunately, this is the only one that succumbed to a little bit of moving damage. As you can see there, the perspex has been cracked right across the top. I will use a donor part from these new ones I've got, these new frames. I've got more of these, so that will be good, and mend that one. Then I've also got this Bounty Hunter frame. I don't know what the picture was from. I found it on the internet. I just liked it and liked having all those bounty hunters together. As you can see, a couple, how many's moved? 2 have moved, so I will fix that. And then I found my Mandalorian frame. I have 2 Mandalorian frames, but this one, yeah, this is from series 2. I like these little pictures, and I've done much the same from the poster from Obi-Wan. I like the fact that you get the picture and then the character next to it. That's how it works for me. And if they don't make a Lego figure like Cobb Vanth, I've put a Scout Trooper there, but actually I might leave it blank. It might look better, and then wait for it. Wait for the figure to come out. Maybe it'll never come out, but I still like doing that. I've got to change this Bo-Katan to the Spider Tank version, because this is a Clone Wars version and the Spider Tank is the Mandalorian version, so I need to do that. Lastly, I found these Clone Wars 5 and 6. That's quite nice to finish off the series. They will go here and here. So the running order will go around here and down like that. When you look at this gap, there's not enough room to get 2 in there. So I could put 1 in there, but then it leaves 1 odd one. So I like the idea of it going around the corner there. Yeah, and I'll possibly fill in gaps, but I kind of like seeing a bit of the wall as well. In my head, that works quite well. We'll see how it looks at the end. I also have my new command strips that have come by Amazon today. I think these were $9.99 for 24 strips in total. Yeah, 12 by 2, the large ones. So they will work on my large frames, and I cut them up for these smaller ones, as you possibly saw me doing earlier on. So that's what I'm going to be getting on with now. This is my finished effect. Now, I haven't put all these frames up, just basically because I run out of ideas of how to put the other ones at the moment, because I'm still missing some. I have these odd ones here, Mandalorian one and this 20th anniversary. I think we'll go up here, but I need 1 more to space them out right, so I will hang on for that. And I've stuck that one up with command strips, so I want to see how it lasts. If it comes crashing down, then I won't be using them. Probably put a pillow under here for a week or so just to make sure. We will see how it goes over a bit of time and whether I continue to put them up like that or whether I screw them into the wall. I think it really shows up the gaps in these frames when you put them next to each other. You can see not the best quality. I can't recommend these frames, to be honest. It's just that I have them now. And they have gone a bit worse over time. I don't know how much worse they will get. Although the frames are bowed, the actual figures inside are looking pretty spiffy, I think. I'm quite happy with this little layout, especially. Man down. I'm happy with it. I thought they were going to have odd ones sticking out, which might have been better actually, but I can still add one to the side of it. But at the moment, these frames are what I've got to work with. I'm still missing, like I say, the Obi-Wan Kenobi one, a couple of others, I think. I took away the Bad Batch as I intend to add the Bad Batch up here. I might not open my boxes. I might just buy the individual figures because I think I have two of them. I got Hunter there and I thought I might have one of the others. But anyway, they're quite expensive now, those sets, so I might not open them. But it doesn't bother me, really, if I have to open them and use the Bad Batch. And then I need a Anakin to finish that one off. Oh, no, I don't. I also need an Airborne Trooper I want to put there from the General Grievous ship. That rare one that needs to go in there. And I think that's quite a nice little collection. The other frame I probably need is the 25th anniversary. That will be a nice companion to that one there. I've got another Mandalorian one, as I said, but the 25th anniversary. So maybe I can work with something up here then, or somewhere else. Like I say, I'm keeping this gap blank for a TV screen. And then it will be just working on other places around. Maybe all the way down there. But I have my small custom frames, and I also have classic retro style ones like Return of the Jedi and Star Wars, back from collecting the original action figures, the copies of those in Lego forms, and fit them in, that is. Probably, like I said, I won't go any lower than this because possibly I will have some Trofast units there with parts, because I have an awful lot of parts to sort out and place. But yeah, I'm happy with this. It's a good start to get them out of the way because they were taking up a bit of space down there in their boxes, and what's the point in having them in boxes when you've got them in all these frames? So that's my wall of frames, and hopefully I can add a few to that over a bit of time. Anyway, if you've enjoyed watching me do this and would like to see more of my content in the future, then you know what to do. Do the like, do the subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you again in the very near future. Cheers.